Hi, beautiful people, and welcome to today's tutorial. As you already know, my name is Amaka Solomon. Let me get this channel. Okay, today I will show now how I take draft, cut, and sew this fine pepper dem gown. Now what say they call the gown? Pepper dem gown. So this gown a very simple gown to drop them no go hard. So that is why I say make I take my time come show now how I take arrange this fine gown. Abeg if you dey for this channel and you never subscribe to my channel, you still be luku or you still be watching member, abeg oya quickly go hit the subscribe button. You need to also share the videos to your other soulmates, and don't forget to turn on that bell wey dey on top so that anytime I upload video na you go be among the first ogbonge people wey go get the alarm say Ama Solon don upload better video. Alright guys, so let's get started. So as you can see, I already have line. This is my starting point. This is my from this shoulder point, my bust point 11, and then 17 my waist, and then this is my hip measurement, and then this is the the length of the gown, 36 inches. Okay, so now this paper is on fold. This place is on fold, as you can see. So this paper is on fold. This is the center front. So when I drag the center front, which I will use it and duplicate the back. Okay, so let's just get started. All right, so I'll just go ahead. The shoulder is 8 inches. Then the armhole is 8.5 inches. The armhole is 8.5 inches. I will mark it. Then I'll connect it to this shoulder. But before then, on this shoulder, I'll just come down here by 1 inch for the slope. Okay. This shoulder 8 inches. Let me also impute it here so that everything will be equal. Okay, it's even the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing what I already marked here. So let me mark down 8.5. I'll connect it to the 1 inch shoulder slope like so. Okay, so this line now is our chest line. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, let's input the neckline. Okay, let me just use the basic neckline for now. Okay, let me just go ahead and input the neckline I'm working with. No need of alteration. So I will make it 5 inches wide like so, and then I will make it 2 inches deep. Okay, so I'll connect it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now, connect it to the shoulder slope. So for the armhole, I'll just go up by, I'll just get the midpoint. I'll get the midpoint. So this is the middle. Then on that middle, I'll come in by 0.6 inches. Okay, so I'll connect it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do now is to put my bust measurement on this chest line so that I'll know where my armhole will stop. So for that, my bust measurement is let me make it 10 inches. Because of the nature of this gown, I'm going to add ease. All right, I'll add allowance. I'll add 1 inch ease to it. So everything is 11 inches. Okay, let me just use the whole of this place. Okay, so sorry, 11 inches is the bust measurement. Okay, then I'll use this other remaining, not up to 1 inch. I'll use this for my ease. Okay, so I'll just connect it from this point to this point here. Okay, so this is it. I'll now go ahead and continue the rest of the measurement. All right, I'll put the waist measurement. So the waist measurement divided by 4, I will have 9 inch. Okay, that 9 inch, I'll add 1 inch ease to it. I'll add 1 inch ease to it. Okay, then for the hip measurement, so what we need to do, there is not even need of putting the hip measurement here. So what we need to do here, this is the hip, but I'll come to the hemline now. The hip I'm working with, I'm going to add extra inches, maybe like 5 to 6 inches more. Okay, because of the style. So I'll just come here now. The hip is 40. So I'll add 40 divided by 4 is 10. Okay, so this is 10 here. I'll just add like 5 to 6 more inches to it. Okay, let me add 5 inches to it. Okay, so just ignore this hip line here. So I'll just go ahead, I'll connect the lines now. So I'll just connect it from this point to this point. So from here, I'll connect it to this other point. So chest line, bust line, waistline, hip line, and hem line. Okay, so I'll just go ahead now. I'll before I'll cut it out, I will use this one to trace out the back one. But before then, let me draw the style line. Okay, so you can draw the style line with this paper folded, or you open it up. Okay, but let me try and draft it with the paper closed. So I'll just come to this armhole. Let me see, I'll come down here by 3 inches, or make it 2 inches. I'll come down by, from this shoulder slope, I'll come down by 2 inches. I marked 2 inches there. Okay, so now on this hem line now, I'll come in by 3 inches or 4 inches. So let me make it 4 inches. That is on the middle, the midpoint here. I'll come in like so by 4 inches. We'll still open the paper, don't worry. So I'll come in here like so. Alright. Okay, so I just took the front panel, I placed on another paper, as you can see, and duplicated and traced out the back panel, so that by the time I remove this white paper, because we are not done with the front, we are still going to open it up and draw the style line. Okay, so that by the time I cut out this front one, I already have my back panel, because we're going to go ahead now and cut out this front panel. Then we can open it. Then for the hemline, I only extended it by 7 inches so that I will remove the excess. So let me cut it out. So this is where our length is. This one is just for the style line, so I'll just remove this excess here. So open up the pattern. This is the center, remember, okay? This is the center. So on this center now, I'll come in here by 4 inches. On this center, I'll come in by 5, I'll make it 5 inches. Then on the armhole, I'll make it 2.5 inches or 3 inches. Then I'll connect it from this armhole, I'll connect it to this point. From this point to this point. On this center front, I'll come down by 7 inches. Let me just use the whole paper I have here. So I'll connect it from this point, from this hemline to this point, from here to this point. Sorry, from this our length to this extension, okay? Like so. You can use your straight ruler so that you won't have too much curve. So that the curve will not be too much. So let me use my straight ruler. Okay, so you see. Then from here now, I'll connect it to this point. So this is it. So I'll just go ahead now, I'll cut it out. So this is the style line. So see the style line now. I'll go ahead now, I'll cut it from here like so. I'll cut it like so. Okay. Okay, before I do that, let me extend this waistline because I'll be needing it later. Let me extend it. Make sure you extend all your lines because you'll be needing it later. So I'll cut off this hemline, okay, on this side. So I'll cut this. Let me keep this one. I'll cut this like this. So you see it. So the next thing we want to do now is to do the slash and the spread. So for this one, this side, I'm going to get the midpoint of this hemline. So it's 10 inches. So the midpoint is 5. And I'll connect it to the waistline. You can also get the midpoint of the waist so that you have a straight line. So I'll connect it now. So this one now, I'll keep this aside. This one, this is the middle. You see the crease line is still there. You see the crease line, this middle crease line, you still have it there. So I also connect it from this point to the waistline. Okay, so for this part, I'm going to open it up like so. Open here and open. Let me just do it so that you see. So I'll open it like so. So you stop at the waist. Then you open it up Make sure you don't cut it through. You see how I did it? You see it? So you open this place too. So you see it. Make sure you don't cut it through. See where I left. So now you can place another paper under. You can place, if you're a beginner, you can place another paper under, or you can cut directly on your fabric. But I'm going to cut directly on my fabric. So you can place another paper under and just, trace it out like so. Add your necessary allowances. Okay, of course. So let me also do this one and do the back. Then we'll cut on the fabric. So I'll cut it open. So you open up this place too. So this is it. I'll also keep this one aside. So this is the back panel. Okay, this is the back. Alright. So I already traced it out. As you can see, the marks are there. So this is the waistline. So when I'm cutting it out on the fabric now, on my fabric, I'm going to open up this place, this waistline, and I'll spread it. I'll show you when I'm cutting it out on the fabric. But for the neckline, I'm going to make it deeper. What I have here now is 2 inches. Okay, so I'll just extend it. I'll make it around 7 inches deeper. So I'll connect it now. I'll cut out the neckline for the back. So this is the back panel. I went ahead and I opened, this is the waist, as you can see. I opened it up. I don't want it to be too wide, so I opened it up a little. Okay, so if your back panel was on fold, if your pattern paper, the back, the front was on fold, but I didn't fold this back because I wanted to save paper. So if your back panel was on fold, you just come to the middle. This is the midpoint. Okay, you open it, the paper, not the fabric. You open it up. When you open it to this waist point, you open this side and you open the other side, then you spread it on your fabric and cut. But if it's not on fold like my own, just go ahead in this middle, open it like this, and make sure, if your own is on fold, make sure anything you have here on this side, that is what you're going to have on this side, so that it will be evenly distributed. So I went ahead, this is the neckline. I added, this dress won't have a zip, that was why I made it this deep. So I added half an inch for allowance on the shoulder, half an inch on the armhole, half an inch. Then on the side seam, I added 1 inch for the stitching. And then on the hemline, I added my 1 inch allowance. So I'm going to go ahead now. I'll cut it out. Then I'll cut the other side. For the back, you see that my fabric is on fold on the back panel. Okay, so I went ahead and I eventually joined this part. I hope you can see this fabric is very colorful, so I don't know that you're seeing it very well. So I went ahead, I joined this part first before hemming it. I said I was gonna hem it before I joined it, but I later figured out that it's better to do it like this. Okay, so but whichever method works for you. Okay, so I joined it, the front, as you can see. I also went ahead, I see the interfacing, the neck facing. I joined the neck facing too, and I top stitched it. So to finish this place up, what you need to do is to just weave this whole place and iron it very well. This my fabric is like polyester. If you're ironing it, it will not be really relaxing. So I sewed it, as you can see. Make sure that your stitches is facing this side, not on the main fabric. Let your stitches be facing this side like this. You see? Place it like so, and you place it on the machine and sew. So while you're sewing, be turning it to be sure that where you stitch is facing the facing, not your main fabric. Okay, so you see what the front looks like. See it, and then see the hem. I hemmed it like so, like so. I also hemmed this other red part. So that is it for the front. So for the back too is basically, so for the back is the same thing, nothing much. I just went ahead, I also turned the facing. See the back, I sewed it with half an inch, and then I notched it. Yes, I notched it. Make sure you notch it very well. Make sure you notch it before you top stitch it. Okay, so when you finish notching it, you now come and open it up like this, and you top stitch it. You sew on it like so. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is to join the shoulder together. So you see the shoulder, this is the shoulder of the front, this is the right side, and this is the right side of the back. So I'll make sure that this stitch here, is touching this one here. The joining, the two shoulder joining, the front shoulder joining and the back shoulder joining. So I'll just go to my machine now. I'll hold it like so. Go to my machine. I'll sew it from this middle to the end. From this middle also to the end. I'll do it. I'll sew it with half an inch because half an inch allowance was the allowance I added. So I'll just sew it half an inch to this side, half an inch to this side. Then I'll do same for the other side of the shoulder. Okay, then when I'm done doing that, I'll now go and shape the side. Of course, that one is very easy, just to join it together and shape the two sides. Okay, so let me go and join the shoulder and then I'll shape the side of the dress. So I went ahead, I've sewed it, I've shaped it. But before I shaped it, I'm still going to iron it. This is the neck. I joined it together. So this is the neck. I joined it. I also joined this side. So you see the shoulder now. So the hemming, the shaping, I shaped it with 1 inch down. I also shaped this side with 1 inch down. So this waist side, you have to notch inside. Let me show you. You see, you have to notch the waist so that it will relax. See how I notched it? Use your scissors. You notch it. Make sure you don't cut the thread that you sew so that it can relax here. You see how relaxed it is. So that is it for the gown. So for the sleeve, I went ahead, I cut out my basic sleeve. It's about 8 inches long. So you see it. And this rope is 2 inches, okay? So I went to the machine, I sewed it like so, I folded it like so, I folded it like so, and then I married them together like so, and then I sewed it. So that was how I got these ones. So you see. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just come here, I'll open it up. You first of all, you hem the sleeve. This is the upper part. You see, I notched it. I notched the upper part. I also notched the down part. So I'll just hem it with 1 inch. I'll hem it like so. Then I'll now grab one of this. I'll place it on it like so. I'll sew it. Top stitch it to this point. You also top stitch this place after hemming it. Then the second part, you come to the armhole. The second one is on the armhole. You place it like so on the armhole. You can cut out the excess. Then this one will be here. But before you do that, the one that will cross like this on this point here, the cap of the sleeve, you put one here like so. Okay, then you put one. You can always cut. When you put it like so, you sew it, you top stitch it on this side and on this side. Then you come here, you place it like so, you top stitch it. Then the other one will be here on the armhole like so. So I already did one. So you see this one, I place it like so. One is on this hem and the other one is on the armhole. So this is what it looks like. So you iron it very well. So let me go ahead, I will sew this one and then I'll attach it to the gown.